This is Richard Wolff from Democracy at Work, responding to another Ask Prof Wolff question from our Patreon.com community. And this one comes from Jack H. Jack asks me to distinguish between supply side and demand side economics. What's going on? What do these terms mean? Well, let me begin by making it very clear why I chose to respond to this particular question among the many that come in. Not only because others have asked it too, but because it's a wonderful example of language and words being used to disguise or to hide what's actually going on. So let's begin. Supply and demand is a very neutral set of words. It's a very neutral idea. It's the way teachers describe to students what economics is all about. There's the supply on the one hand and the demand on the other. Somebody supplies ice cream cones to the market and other folks buy the ice cream cones, and that's how things get produced and distributed. Isn't it all reasonable and nobody's making hay at anyone else's expense? The reality is far, far different. Yes, there are markets all over the place. Yes, there are supply sides to the market and demand sides. Typically, the supply side is the employer. That is the person or group whose job it is to produce and bring to the market the supply of goods and services we find in a market. On the other side are most of us, the demanders, the people who need to buy the food, clothing, and shelter without which we can't live. And so we come to market prepared to and interested in buying. And markets bring suppliers and demanders together. It would be a bit more honest if we acknowledged that the supply siders are usually the businesses of the country, the employers, a class of people very different from those who do not own and operate any enterprise and who are there mostly to demand, to buy the things they need for themselves and their families to live. So what then is supply or demand economics? It's usually a set of policies, a very clever language. You call a set of policies something about the supply or the demand. That seems sort of even-handed, doesn't it? Well, it isn't. Supply-side economics has a better, more honest name. It's economics that deals with problems of capitalism by making sure you help, first and foremost, the employer. Let me give you some examples. When the economy of capitalism goes down, and let's remember, every 4 to 7 years across the history of capitalism, on average, there's been a downturn, a recession, a depression, a crash, a crisis, lots of words for it. And when that happens, the supply side people say, oh my goodness, there's a crash, there's unemployment, the economy's going down. And we want there to be a policy which we call supply side economics. You know what it is? It's a set of policies that make businesses more profitable. And here's the idea. If we make the businesses more profitable, they'll expand, they'll grow, they'll hire more people, and the benefits will, here we go, trickle down to everybody else. Supply-side economics, trickle-down economics, very close twins. It's a way of helping the supplier. What's the alternative? More liberally type folks want there to be demand-side policies, demand-side economics. Here the idea is you want the economy to go better, help the mass of people, the working class, the employees. Give them money, give them benefits of all kinds, give them jobs to earn money, and then they will go into the market to buy things, and the benefit of that will, trickle up to the businesses. Right-wingers want supply-side economics because it favors the employers they serve. Liberal or left-wing economists tend to prefer demand-side economics because it helps people who are average and coming into the market wanting to buy. By the way, capitalism, being as an unstable system as it is, periodically has the opposite problem. Instead of the economy going down, the economy is sort of exploding, like it is today, with prices going crazy. Here again, the same game. One set of policies wants to come in and leave the employer class with the minimum of trouble. They just want the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates a little bit or to pull a little bit of money out of the economy, making a little bit of pressure, a little bit on the employer to do something about the inflation. The Federal Reserve has been raising interest rates. You probably noticed. The impact on the inflation, nowhere to be seen, which is exactly what the employer class wants. What would a liberal or left-wing approach be? Go in there and do something that helps average people. Ration, wage price freezes. The government comes in, controls, stops the prices from going up. That's a solution that the mass of Americans want right now, but you won't hear about it because the Democrats and Republicans are all lined up on the conservative side, which has been true now for a long time, ever since Franklin Roosevelt. Here's the conclusion to draw. Supply and demand never explain much. That's part of why they are taught all the time and emphasized. You know, businesses have learned that if the supply goes down and the demand goes up, up go their prices and profits in most cases. So the businesses play both sides, don't they? Advertising is the name of the game. That's when businesses manipulate the demand. And they control production so they can control the supply. In other words, in capitalism, the capitalist plays both sides. And that's what has to be understood because that's how they make the system work for them. Markets, like supply and demand, are an institution that serves capitalism. And to believe in it, to take seriously the language of supply and demand, is to get caught up in an ideology favoring one class against another. If interventions like these strike you, as they do us, important ways to shift and change the conversation in our country, then please partner with us. Share these videos with friends, relatives, co-workers. Help us reach a larger audience. And of course, if you can be supportive financially, all of this costs money, and that will be enormously appreciated as well. Thank you.